regular business meeting. Need somebody for the invocation. Anyone? Any volunteer?
He always does it so well.
Good, stand by. Pledge. Someone? We have a proclamation for Tim Van Valkenburg. I did try to reach his wife and wasn't able to get a hold of her. His wife died?
What?
No.
What happened? The wife did? I didn't hear that. What was her name? Are you sure?
Lisa.
Lisa.
Wow.
Who was that?
Us?
No.
Maybe I didn't hear it.
No, I did not hear that at all. We talked to her a week after, way after he died.
Wow.
I don't think I don't know where that came from. What-
Dad.
Is she? What? Wow, dude. Guess she really was.
Well, no.
Yes or no, Charlie?
Well, someone with
Kind of weird.
someone with her name.
From Snellville?
No.
Yeah,
What'd y'all do?
shared a
Google
beautiful
search
40
or
years of her
something?
life with her
No,
beloved
killing
husband,
people.
Tim Van Valkenburg, who predeceased her on April 28, 2025.
Oh my gosh.
She died May 8.
Wow.
Oh, that's why she, yeah.
Well,
That's why I was asking who you were gonna present it to.
Yeah.
Everybody
Wow.
knew.
There's gotta be a brother, there's,
an
I
obituary
have
for
the,
Tim Van
yeah,
Valkenburg.
yeah, that's what I use.
Deceased on April 20, 2025.
Well-
Well, 40 beautiful years of her life.
I didn't see her.
I think it was shortly after he did it.
May 8. And he was the end of April.
That is,
So like a week and a half after.
wow.
Well,
It's up to you if you wanna pull that.
well, we could still honor him,
I think we
Yeah,
still
we
honor
should.
him.
and in honor of, and just if you can get through it, his wife Lisa passed 2 weeks later, and we'll plant a tree in their honor because it says that evidently, well, it says here at the end of her thing to plant a beautiful memorial tree in honor of Lisa. So let's just plant one with our tree fund somewhere here in the city, and we'll make it the Van Valkenburg Memorial Tree. Anybody got?
I think that's through the official.
Oh, I know, but
yeah.
let's keep it local because do something to honor him at least. Maybe in the middle of one of them dastardly roundabouts.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
Yeah, I'll mention that she's passed, but I think I'll wait on
But we have
Memorial
to,
tree.
we have to do something every year for Arbor Day, so I'll put something together, we'll plant a tree and if you wanna mention that.
the.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I'll lose it between here and there.
No, remember, we're getting a tree out of it.
Look what the good side, right?
Did y'all ever know Jeff, who was a very faithful farmer's market volunteer? Jeff, his last name escaped me. Okay, he passed away, and his wife, and they'd been married, I think, close to 60 years. She passed she passed, and then he passed the next day. They were poll workers, Jeff and Marie Lasher, yeah.
There's 2 trees
That's
we
the
have to
name.
plant.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a memorial garden now? or what?
Yeah, I know. That's the
It's
issue,
called
is
an
just like, how do you,
arboretum.
where do you draw the line on
Yeah.
everything you're doing?
Mm.
Then we have the minutes, under public hearing, we've got 2 first reads, SUP on the storage facility at Park Place. Any This is the first reading, so we can have discussion here if anyone's got questions or issues on this. So he's kept it at 3 stories, because he had called me about making it 4 stories on a smaller footprint, so has that gone away, I guess?
I believe it's only 3.
It's saying now 3 with a basement.
Yeah, because they had to dig into that back wall up against Home Depot is, it's probably 10, 15 foot grade. If you look at the hotel, you can see the cutoff, so I guess he's calling that a basement. I don't think they're digging into the ground. I mean, that'd be foolish, because there's rock everywhere.
Well, he had called me, before he put this SUP in, so it's been probably 6 months or so. And said they found rock in one spot. So what he wanted to do was make a smaller footprint and make it 4 stories. And would I go for that? And I said, well, it's gotta go through the process.
I don't believe so. I'm
Not
not
gonna-
sure.
Make that decision, but this is still 3 stories.
I know there's been a little dissension about having self-storage there. Now that he's left, I can't ask him the question. I believe it's zoned VG, which means there could be much more intense uses as far as generating traffic and potential other issues.
No, it should be HSP, because we would have rezoned it to do the because we did the SUP before, so it would have had to been rezoned. It's gotta be HSP with an
HSP.
SUP for
Okay.
storage.
So my concern is, what are the other issues? What will it become if it's not self-storage? Self-storage is very low impact on all city services, very little traffic. I had a call from resident Gay Bruce today, and her big concern is the fact that because our ordinances only require putting in sidewalk as the various lots are developed, the lot that is in the lottery for a liquor store never got its sidewalk in place. And so she asked if we were to move ahead, see if we could get him to agree to put the sidewalk in there along Forest Road, so we'd have a complete sidewalk connecting north all the way down to the 124 corridor. And I know Councilwoman Hetherington had discussed one side of the property that faces the hotel, having that be a potential place for a large mural, and possibly getting the applicant to donate at least some level of money to pay for the mural, which that way, every time someone hit the roundabout, you have this, instead of just seeing what looks like an office building, you'd have this beautiful, hopefully beautiful mural, maybe even with the heads on the people this time.
And there's also the side that faces the hotel, so the hotel rooms will look out on the mural
Okay,
instead
so
of
the
back
side
side.
that faces the hotel.
I'm getting into Muriel,
Yeah, it's
we
not gonna be the backside of the
need something
brick
different.
building, it's gonna look
Like a
like it has
blank
windows all the
mirror.
way.
Back side is not going to.
No, right now, I
I missed
believe
that.
the side facing the hotel is, he's been asking for
They
it,
have to
not
break, but yeah.
have to put actual windows in it, and my thought was, as long as it looked like windows, I don't really care what they are. But
Oh, yes.
I like the idea of the mural much better.
This was several months ago when I had that
That's
conversation
the
with him.
basement. It actually is 4.5 a basement. See how it's not built in? That's not, it's like a half a basement. I don't think the height is that much higher though, I think actually.
Yeah, and actually, it's still, the hotel is 5 stories tall, so it'd be shorter than the hotel.
Yeah, you get up to 80 feet, max, EG.
Right, but as
That
far
one's a
as,
little, yeah.
As far as visual impact on the community,
There's some pictures of that as well.
it won't be as, even as large as the hotel.
Biggest issue we had with it was the, over excessive use of EVIS.
Right.
So we said, no on that, just because you got by with it on the hotel, we want this to be.
Over excessive use of what? What did you say?
Fake stucco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got way too much.
Are you glad I asked?
Right.
15%.
Coverage.
They only want, they only allow 15%.
Yeah.
They're asking for 50.
No, over there now.
So we
Just
said,
some Greek mythology.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, this is the time, and you don't understand a word.
yeah, get it out.
Yeah, ethos used to be like what we call somebody who messed up a lot. Oh, so under HSB, what other uses could be there?
Nothing with the SUP as long as the condition as such.
No, I know, but if we, right now.
Gas
the-
stations,
the-
automotive.
Yeah, the
Heavy
SUP,
stuff.
yeah, the SUP has, Sunset that was on the property already, correct?
They're still bound by that though, yeah.
Right, but they can't build under it right now, I believe, which is.
Right, they're bound by that, they're still bound by that site plan and that zoning action regardless of the underlying zoning, so we locked them all.
Yeah, they can't do what they wanted to, because the time's run out.
But, yeah,
Well, I think
I
this
totally
is-
understand, but constitutionally,
They have to
we
come
zoned
back.
it HSB.
But they have to
So,
come back to do it.
yeah, they'd come back, but they could say, well, we want to keep it HSB, and they'd have an easier case to make legally that you said that could be HSB.
But we
and-
still tied it to a site plan.
Yes, we did.
And an SUP, I think, but you would have to make the argument that.
My whole point is self-storage is about as low of an impact as we're gonna get.
Oh yeah, it's not, it's a great use there, honestly, if you get the aesthetic right. We don't want more cars from restaurants, you know, it's, as far as creating more intensity there, that's probably the lowest level use you could get. Once it gets built and put up and then fill, if you see like 3 or 4 cars a day, I mean, they really don't put a bunch of people in.
Yeah, I don't visit my stuff I have in storage. I just say,
And people just pay that auto debit.
yeah.
And it's like.
You totally
never
forget
end
about
up
it.
paying
Then
for
then the
it.
25th of every month, it's like, man, I gotta go
I
clear
gotta
that
go
out.
clean that out.
And then next month, the next.
The other thing that Ms. Bruce requested was signage for the street, and I explained to her it's a private street, it's not a city street, and we can't, and she said, well, could you tie that to the zoning if you go forward? And I said, well, that's a great idea.
Yeah, well, they'll put some signs up.
I know, but it's
Yeah,
evidently
throw it
an
in.
issue with some folks, and it,
There is a sign on the back end. I mean, isn't there a sign on 124? I feel like there is, because
Well-
it carries across too, but there's definitely not one on Fars, I don't think.
yeah, and
Okay.
I think it's over the street.
Huh?
I think it's over the street. Or over, like at the.
Yeah, 124.
At 124, but not on Forest Road.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to give somebody directions,
Just
it's
say-
gotta be the road by the hotel.
Yeah, there's a sign by the hotel.
Sign.
But I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, it
Well-
should have a sign, honestly. It doesn't hurt.
right,
to add.
but evidently on the application, I'll take her word for it, it lists the address as an address on Forest Road. And an interior lot like that really shouldn't have a Forest Road address.
Yeah, well, what-
before the circle.
Gwinnett County gave those addresses out, so. they-
Yeah, well, I didn't know if it was Gwinnett or the Postal Service, doesn't really matter. I
Yeah,
didn't-
Gwinnett issues
It's
all-
not causing me any lack of sleep, but if council so agreed that the constituent requested that those 2 items in particular, if we go forward with anything on the property, be tied to any zoning action.
The signage and what was the other one?
Sidewalks
Completing the sidewalk
On Forest.
along.
They should.
along from.
Yeah, well, and I explained that under our code, until that lot's developed.
Coach mode, they should fill that in. I have not seen that.
So
If we would have seen that, I would be able to do it.
If
That's
we,
late.
if we were to move forward with
Yeah, throw it in there.
a zoning action, those 2 things, so.
The problem is you can't condition that property specifically, you just have to get a head shape because it's not under under
Right.
scrutiny, but, I mean, that's not a big ask at all, neither is that sign. Those
Well, it's
are-
gotta be done anyway.
Right, and it should be if it's just one panel, isn't it just one little piece? Yeah, I saw the pictures.
I don't walk it, man.
Yeah, I don't either, but I was surprised to see that tiny little gap there.
I assumed it was a bigger gap, but
Well, they have across the street too, you know, I mean, you got that one's all the way down.
So backing up to the mural, are we going to allow these, or, because I've got complaints on the pizza place, and I've got complaints on a garage that has a mural.
well, if it's a
Which
city
pizza
approved
place is it?
mural,
Mushroom.
Oh, on Mushroom?
Well, I saw one on Raising Cane's too.
What the heck? I think they signed that one, they did
Yeah,
sign it.
Raising Cane's is
Yeah.
signage,
Yeah, we permitted that under signage, they had enough space.
but Mellow Mushrooms is painted on the wall,
But
and
you
so
get a
is the car
percentage across the whole
repair.
elevation, they met it. We
It's like
looked
a
at-
6-foot section of sidewalk that's missing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the sign.
no.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Well,
saying,
either,
just a
either
little
that
piece.
or they messed up, no, it's
The sidewalk's there, they just,
on either end, no, just on one end.
what the heck?
What are you looking at, Google Maps?
Yeah. Well, they sent she sent a picture too. Gated.
Just pass it down. The corner of Fars and Unnamed Road.
Yeah, it's just one little piece. It's weird that they didn't just put that in.
I misunderstood what she was saying.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I would've jumped all over somebody about that.
Well, the mural issue, would that be a condition we add to the SUP?
That would be.
Would he have to come back and get approval of what I mean,
We haven't really delineated those rules yet
I know,
What
because
was
we
the
haven't
question?
approved.
about requiring him to put a mural up.
Would,
on it.
I don't want to require
Let's
him
not-
to
let's
put a
not do
mural on
that.
it. I want to get
Reserve
an
the
agreement
space.
that the Snellville Arts Commission or whoever we designate, put a mural on it, contribute X number of dollars towards that.
Oh,
So, no, I don't want him to choose what's, because it'll be Sleep Hampton Inn, or,
That's a sign, because it's an ad.
yeah.
Self-storage
We already
here.
approved one of those. I don't think you're gonna have much of a choice if folks wanna start slapping stuff up.
Well, since we don't have that in place, it would be the agreement that in the future,
well, y'all can work that up as a condition or something.
it work.
See if it's-
I'd say get the work people to repaint the wall, and just at least give us the heads.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, at least give us that.
No, I remember Butch already bought the paint.
I don't think he's bought the paint, we have.
No,
to
Butch
see.
said he bought the paint, like,
He also said he
3
had
years
all
ago.
the easements too. I'm just saying.
all right, mark the tape, send this to Butch.
He has bought the paint. Easements were a bit more fluid, but he has the paint.
I still remember the council meeting when Marcy got up and said, are there gonna be heads on those people? I have never forgotten her asking about the heads.
Well, Kelly McAloon has been talking with Stephanie McDonald about, you know, allowing them to come up with some design.
Oh, dear God.
Please.
Allowing,
Well, it would need to be
it
approved.
need to be approved.
Something
We'll
along the
use it
lines of
one
Lawrenceville's
week.
with the flowers, but
Okay.
what she said that Lawrenceville did with that flowered one
It looks great.
is that they allowed the community to come out and paint like a flower or something. So
Well,
Stephanie painted the yellow
Yeah,
flower.
so somebody sketches it out.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
So-
like
And then it's like a
Paint
paint
by
by
number,
number, it's
yeah.
like, here, take this color and paint this square.
yeah, Gotcha.
Which we can't do on the side of 78.
Well, I'm just saying, this is, It's just
Let's
being
do
talked
it
about.
40
There's
feet
no
in the air
decision.
on the side of a building.
But I told her we had paint to make it plain, so we could get started, and so she was like, well, let's do it. I was
Pressure
like,
washing might be
now it's
better.
98 degrees out.
Yeah, now it's
100%
probably maybe October-ish.
Probably do it a little sooner than that, but we'll see.
But as of now, this is coming to you guys. We've not received anything new from Ronnie or the applicant on what they're gonna do about those elevations. So we've not seen.
About the EVIS.
Yeah, 50%, that's a no-go. On that corner too, it needs to be nice on that corner. And he got away with it with the hotel because we didn't have those codes, he's kind of changed. And I
Gotcha.
think we were pretty anxious to get that one in there too, we don't have to back off on this one.
So if, just to beat a dead horse,
Beat it up.
if we were looking to do a mural in the next couple of years, what should that wall be made of?
Anything, that's the great part about a mural.
Okay.
Like, you paint it on the organic environment, brick, stone, anything like masonry will hold. I mean, they're gonna probably do a stack, the same wall, just carry it down, so it'll be that stacked block back, so it should be primed for painting, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what makes it cool a lot of times, is the different mediums too, I think.
And the texture.
Yeah, look at the tunnel,
Yeah.
it's really cool, they paint on all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and Tony's wall isn't all flat over there, is it? It's really not, yeah, it looks good.
I didn't know you had a wall made down.
No, it's not.
Just a
Tony's
Lawrenceville
wall.
reference.
Tony's wall.
Locational reference.
Now we'll always call it that.
Tony's wall.
All right, then we have the SUP for Eastgate Place. That's for the sports training facility. They're operating now, right? They
Oh,
just
yeah,
need to
that's the
park
big
them out.
problem.
Yeah.
So they got in there, kind of finessed us a little bit on getting in there with what they needed, and then boom, they opened up, successful. There's like 6 spaces, they need like exactly what they're applying for. They're in the streets. And it got convoluted along the way because they had an old stormwater pond. It's more like an indention in the dirt that was like 35 years old, never had been maintained. Well, once we got into that, they wanted to add like 70 spaces, but the space they need to bring the stormwater up is literally half of that adjacent parcel. So that they feel like what they're providing now is enough, and then in the future, if it's a new business and you approve it, then they will have to meet those parking requirements of the site, not even for that business specifically, so we don't get back into a first watch situation again for there. So everything looks good now. They're gonna, we've asked them to deed the right of way to us on the front at the time that we improve it, because I think that's where we'll see our extension. New drive extension will follow that, and then they won't have to put it in now as a one-piece project. We'll put it all in at once. So seems pretty reasonable given the age of the structure and the improvements. So pretty simple, honestly, is what they're trying to do. And that piece too, just so you know, is sandwiched in between 2 others. So I always thought, whether do we want to build more on that street, but there's really not much you could kind of redevelop or infill there that would be residential or something of nature. So, if it keeps that building in commerce, I think it's good.
Anybody have questions or anything on that one at this point? So they think that the number of spaces there is gonna be adequate?
Yeah, it would cover what they're doing right now with a little bit extra. I mean, they'll get all the cars off the street. If you've been down there when they're open, I mean, it's very robust. You can barely get through there because there's nowhere to park. So they're parking down the drive, on the side, they're parking all in the right of way in that cul-de-sac and stuff.
So they're not doing like tournaments and stuff
No,
there?
it's like
It's just-
gym-based training, like basketball and stuff like that, team-based stuff, group sports kind of thing. I think there's a membership too, so it's just a different kind of gym. It's more of an active sports gym. They've done really well, honestly. They've got a pretty robust business going over there.
He has a lot of kids involved.
Yeah, it's a good reuse of the space, honestly. It comes in line to more of what we're trying to do down there instead of what we tried to do down there 35 years ago, which just was never really successful.
Right. Well, and I think it's something that kind of supports town center
That's
growth
what
too,
I meant.
because it's a, you know,
People,
activity-based.
people.
All right, under consent agenda, we just have, you all had the information on the flock cameras. Matt was able to go ahead, under his purchase limit, was able to go ahead and, put the equipment on order, so we're just here in the consent agenda to approve the lease with flock, and these are for the cameras at the park. Just for, you know, by way of description for anybody watching this, it'd be 21 cameras throughout Briscoe Park. Many of those can zoom and tilt. Gunshot alarm on there. So that one should give us good coverage there. Well, we could cover it in the update, but where we are on the lighting out there. Under new business, we have just a resolution for the general election. That's all our usual. Any questions on that? A first read on the alcoholic beverage ordinance. You wanna talk about?
Yeah, so we're just doing a first read on the ordinance update this evening, and then at the next meeting plan to bring you an additional item to vote on related to the map. We wanted to put it back in front of you one more time before we bring it to you next meeting, just to make sure this captures everything in our discussion, which really is only the addition of the walking trail that connects behind the public restrooms in Crooked Can, so that you could have a beverage, take a walk, loop back through, and come into downtown. But if there are any other additions we wanted to discuss tonight, we can incorporate them before the next meeting.
Oh, could we get real quick some clarification? I remember something about, Mayor Pro Tem said, we mentioned that police, you guys' little grass spot, and how it's out. What, if you want to just leave it like that? I mean, enforcement there could be an issue, but if you don't, you know what I mean, if somebody veers off the sidewalk, I'm sure they won't go all the way. But you brought it up, we didn't change it here, we left it, so, just wanted to be aware.
It's green space, I would rather include it, so if someone wants to push their shopping cart and put down a blanket there, they can.
What have we done there?
So, Lauren, is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I would-
We'll just square it out.
Yeah,
We can
because-
cut it right out, it's no big deal.
I would do that, just
Perfect.
add
Alright.
that in,
We'll fix
because,
it next time.
you know, you have an overflow crowd for
I-
something going on.
I agree.
Somebody just wants to pull up and, you know,
Or-
we want to get our chair or
We
something.
don't want David going crazy and saying, you stepped on the, and
I have.
tasing him and all that sort of stuff.
I wouldn't tase him.
Too much paperwork, right?
I did see him go up to that guy at the Starbucks that time.
So the only really two substantive changes in the actual ordinance update is changing some language to refer to only paper or plastic containers to very clearly non-glass containers. That's somewhat in response to what we've heard from Crooked Can, and that they've implemented some sustainability measures with aluminum, so it opens the flexibility, but I think achieves the intention of the original ordinance. And then we've also added the requirement for a specialty sticker, so that's both from a visibility enforcement standpoint to make sure that our local businesses are benefiting, as well as branding and identity around the entertainment district, which we're working on right now with the graphic design that we updated Joe on. And my experience, and we've had a great team working on this, I want to recognize Brian and Jason and Jan. Matt and I've been working with all of our team to learn from all of our experiences and get this where we think it's ready to go. But personally, I've managed places where the ordinance was not updated when we still wanted to implement stickers, and it was very challenging conversation. So this is hitting it on the front end, and I think putting us in a good position as our recommendation.
refresh my memory, why did we not include the property that the city owns, the former Shell and BBP, but the
Oh, I
back
think-
lot did?
I think, show me.
Yeah, so our thinking on that, we last time presented you with outline of the current boundaries, what we were recommending adding, and then other areas, including that were on our radar. Since we won't need to do a full ordinance amendment update to change the map, we recommend
Gotcha.
waiting as those redevelop, and frankly, it can be a marketing point to say, you know, if we were to advertise property in the future,
Yeah.
change the update, issue a press release, and that we're
Okay.
indicating an area's intended
All
to be
right,
included.
that's, I like that explanation, that's cool.
Otherwise, you'd have folks just hanging out in the parking lot.
Right, well, and,
Good.
but I,
Good.
but I worry about that with that vacant space back there
Right.
behind the, property owned by Rafik, so, but,
I mean, you can pull that out if you wanted to, if you're concerned about it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
literally just an edit on a line.
It's not
I mean, I don't know if there's anyone that's gonna be there anyway.
I mean, but
There,
you're right, you know,
drinking
an
cricket
empty
can
grass
beer.
field, you never know when folks get, you know, on the craft beer.
well,
If
I
they're gonna be
would,
back there drinking, they're gonna do whether we allow it or not.
well, I know,
Yeah.
but would our police rather this be included now or wait until we include the whole thing and it's possibly developed?
You're good either way.
You're good either way?
Yep. I've seen,
All right,
alright, let's just let it ride.
then I'm fine with it.
If there's a problem, we can cover it.
Whatever
We can
Greg
fix
says.
it.
So we'll include that, small green section by the police department, and that's, we'll present to you next meeting.
Okay, then next we have, item C is, resolution 2511. This is supporting the amicus brief, regarding the Milton, overreach on the settlement amount. So the Supreme Court is gonna hear their case, and so this is us just giving them a resolution that we are in support of their side of things, so. We need to, Melissa, did I forward you the email with the person that we need to email this to? You need to let me know that, because we need to get it to them either tonight or first thing in the morning. So that they can get that incorporated. And then we have some surplusing of some police computer equipment. All right. Any correspondence? City Attorney's report?
Just that we're gonna have an executive session on litigation at some point.
Projects?
Thank you, Mayor Bender. So, if you all refer to your city projects update document, here's your town center construction progress. I'm gonna ask Mercy to kind of review with you all some of the things that we've been working on with town center. Mercy.
So the team that's been working on Entertainment District has also been part of a lot of other great conversations. We've been having, I mentioned briefly, we are continuing our work with the graphic designer on the branding for that, and have also been working on a range of policies to prepare for full activation in the Grove, so we are moving on that. Crooked Can is working diligently. I believe they have folks flying in tomorrow to do fingerprinting and get final fees paid, so they are very, very, very close. We were hoping to have them be able to share some beer with the community, but under current license status, they wouldn't be able to do that. But we do have them coming on Thursday for a Downtown Tunes series that kicks off. So they'll have a branded table, and I think they're gonna give away koozies and stickers and just have a visual presence. And they're very, very close, and we are all, I know, eager to have them open. I think no one more so than them.
Is that listed as a Wednesday on our
It has
social
been,
media?
it has been fixed.
Okay.
It was on the
So
calendar.
I put it on my calendar as Wednesday.
Yeah, so
So
we'll.
it's gonna be Thursday with the events.
Yes, so
Okay.
Thursdays, kicking off this month and running through October. The third Thursday of every month is our Downtown Tune series. So this month we have Samer Sabag, who played last year. Since we don't have restaurants open, we will have a food truck that was a great partner last year, but obviously those will go away as soon as we have restaurants open for people. And King of Pops will be there, so it'll be a very similar vibe to last year, comfortable hangout, drop in. So we're advertising it from 6 to 9 with music from 6:30 to 8:30. And I believe that's it.
Thank you. Jan and Mercy and Brian have been working very hard on kind of all of this these policies, the entertainment district stuff that ramps up, so when we're open, you know, we're setting that expectation, you know, on certain things and how we're gonna run things, so appreciate that. Sidewalk improvement, so the final pay application's in process for payment for the sidewalks on Skyland and Pinehurst. The next item is city business cleanup beautification, so nothing new has changed there, we're running a recycle program, we always have, so folks that are signing up are paying the prorated amount and get their can and move along. Zoning guidelines and things, so in an earlier meeting, I think actually the last time we had met in June, the council expressed some desire for staff to work on some minor amendments to the stormwater retention pond ordinance. We put that recommended language in the packet, but I think it'd be a good idea for Jason just to review that with everybody when we're all together to make sure that what is in the packet, what we're putting before you all for your consideration tonight is in line with what the intent of what we talked about last meeting. So Jason, do you mind reviewing that?
Yeah, did everybody have a chance to read? It's just pretty basic as just an outline to make sure that we capture, basically what the needs and requests from council. So some of this other stuff, the first two we pulled directly out of Gwinnett County's code. We had a version of it, but it wasn't the same, so we just made it consistent. Then for safety, we declared any ponds less than 4 feet have to have a fence. Then we prescribe what kind of materials you can use, no more wood. And then the screening was a little more nuanced, so I'm open to any suggestions there, but basically anything from a non-local or neighborhood street, Lenora Church, Rockdale Circle, anything besides your interior streets would need to be screened. They would also, if they're within 50 feet of that street, they would need to achieve permanent screening of the actual pond and a fence, if there is a fence, by 100% within 2 years, but 80% at planting. So we give them a little room to grow as well, because we don't want to overplant, especially on these dams too. That's the one thing they don't want you doing is planting roots, because the only thing that can destabilize compact soil is roots. So as long as you use the right materials, you can still plant the larger evergreen shrubs and even some of the smaller dwarf trees that don't have extensive root systems. It shouldn't really cause any, real damage to them, like a big, like a cedar, what do they call my favorite tree?
The Leland
sage
cypress.
tree, yeah. Leland cypresses. They have a root, they go out and down, so they can cause a lot of problems too. So if everybody was okay with the layout or had some additions, then we would probably go in as part of the, when we create the actual ordinance, we would name the types, to keep the root issues, because that's your biggest concern, planting on those dams, is the maintenance of the materials, because the trees can grow out, so it has to be the right stuff, and then the destabilization of the dam, which is usually, a liability issue too. So we would, use our landscape architect to help us make sure we put the right stuff on there, and then that would take care of the screening. We did give a little more grace for the ones from, we allow, they still, in the neighborhoods, they have to plant them too. Unless you don't mind in there. I think this one doesn't have it, yeah. So if you wanted to also screen the neighborhood ones, like from the road, from visual, we would need to add that. I didn't add it, it's up to you guys, but we can do the same thing.
For the internal streets?
Yeah, like inside the neighborhood, away from, let's say, I'm trying to think of a good, any major subdivision that has a detention pond located away from a main street. Do you want those screened as well? I don't think screening is important there, safety is obviously, but if you want them screened, we can apply it too, and maybe give them a little more grace for the plantings to grow in. It's a slower time to provide 100% screening, but that's up to you guys. Just gotta direct me on how you wanna go.
Yeah,
I think screening would be nice. I mean, just
be nice, but The issue is to protect the community. I don't think you have to have the language where if we decide to go forward with it, I don't think it has to be as high level as far as the timing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, give them a little
Yeah.
more time to grow in, maybe be a little more open to some, use some discretion as far as, you don't have to be as heavy-handed on them. Naturally, they're gonna grow over time.
Yeah, because I think they're gonna do it regardless. If you force them to do the exterior, they're gonna probably paint the interior anyway.
I guess the theory is too, though, if somebody's going into that neighborhood and it's new, with a new house being built and a new detention pond, they're choosing to buy there with that pond there. It's people driving down the North Church Road don't necessarily.
Yeah.
have that view.
But it'd be one less thing for us to end up conditioning later on, because more than likely we will.
It just depends, I think. I think we could probably give some pretty loose parameters where we could prescribe, kind of use our discretion with where and how. We just have to write it the right way.
Right.
The other issue with that too is the HOA then has to pay more for maintenance, so
Right.
just have to drive through cost of it, but not necessarily a bad thing.
Anything else?
Good work, thank you.
Sounds like you're heading in a good place.
Yeah.
So let me just ask, just to make sure we're clear on next steps on this. Is this something that we would want to talk with our legal folks about putting in ordinance to present to you all for approval? And is there other changes or amendments we want to make to?
We could get a rough draft out.
On a rough draft down,
Yeah,
is that the next step?
Before we send it to the planning commission too, we'll have it marked up.
That's right.
So there won't be any real changes.
So we know we're going on.
Yeah, we get it going, get it going.
And then just another handout that we've given you before we had shared this with you. This is kind of the city's welcome page with information on city services, frequently asked questions, be engaged. This is what staff has been working on to provide folks a central location where all that information can be found. The idea would be to put a QR code on the back of the tax bill where someone could pull all this from the website there. So if there's anything in here that you don't see that you specifically want included, let us know. The beauty of putting it on the website with a QR code link on the bill is that it, okay, we'll look at those. Is that it's moldable, right? It's easy enough for Brian to log on to change it and change the wording, add, take away. It just makes it a little bit easier and flexible there. So please take a look at this and provide us any feedback you might have. Package sales, all of these, Tony will kind of talk about that later with folks there, and we'll go over some of the developments there. Briscoe Park, so just preparing for the slab pour at the end of this month, some utility work and clearing and compaction and all that. You'll see what's going on down there. Barbara had asked, the mayor had asked about just where we stand on the lighting on what we call the Snell side of the park. So before I left on vacation, we had a conversation with Walton EMC, and they're going to install so there's one pole in particular that has two lights that come out, but I kind of call them Tyrannosaurus arms, like they're not go out very far, and probably only a few feet from the actual pole, so they're going to replace something with 8 feet coming out, and so we want to see how that looks. There's some lights that as you come in, some box lights to your left. When you come in, we're going to change from the kind of the amber color lights there to LEDs that will shine a little bit brighter and tilt them a little bit closer to the road. And we want to see how that looks first and then see what other improvements we can make. Lisa's got some pricing, some electrician on one of the bathrooms there to add some LED lights that shoot out into the parking that's right in front of the bathroom. there, and some additional pricing on the existing lights that are in the parking lot on that side now, pushing those out a little bit. But we want to see what EMC, how much that helps, and then we can kind of adjust what we want to do outside of that. Them coming out and putting these lights up is all kind of part of our, contract with EMC. We just end up, continuing to pay the bill like we normally would on lights, there, and we can make adjustments based on what we see from there. And we may even need, depending on the lighting, add a pole, or what needs to add a pole, depending on how we can figure it out. That's in the works there. And then North and Wisteria, just real quickly, the majority of the curb and gutter have been installed. Their utility work continues to be ongoing. We received all the permitted drawings from Gwinnett County for the sewer work that needs to be done with those two parcels. And so we are in the midst of scheduling the pre-con with the contractor. Hopefully we can do that this week and get started. They're estimating about 30 to 45 days to do all their work, which is pretty quick, which would be great. But everything is progressing fine in that way.
So item B, we've already talked about retention ponds. Move to item C.
Item C I put on because of a conversation I had with Chuck Worthington down in Savannah. And in the pre-meeting, we talked to the chief. I think we will just push that, and we have some other business to take care of. If everyone's all right, we'll just push that to the next meeting or the meeting after, because he's meeting with Piedmont to try to figure out some solutions on that.
All right. We're at the end of the work session, and we have an exec session. So during the work session of the Mayor and City Council of Snellville, Georgia, Mayor Bender announced that certain matters should be discussed in the closed session of the meeting and asked council to advise the city with respect to closing the meeting. City Attorney Colonel Powell advised the city of the following reasons to close the meeting: to discuss pending and or potential litigation, settlement claims, administrative proceedings, or other judicial actions which is exempt from the Open Meetings Act pursuant to OCGA Section 50-14-2-421. Upon a motion of Councilmember
Warner, Schultz.
and seconded by Councilmember
The other one.
I got Warner, and seconded by Councilmember Heatherington. The meeting was closed with the following council members and the mayor present and voting. Mayor Barbara Bender, yes. Mayor Pro Tem Todd Warner.
Yes.
Council members Norman Porter.
Yes.
Carrie Heatherington.
Yes.
Christy Linsky.
Yes.
And Gretchen Schultz.
Yes.
Thereupon, all people left the room except